Oh, hold on. That's military time. I don't know what is.
Okay, 2:30.
14:31.
Yeah. What hell?
Oh, school.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. You know. 205-964-5243. You know.
Show off of there, that particular episode off of TikTok.
Okay, gotcha.
So, good afternoon. Always surprising when you don't control this stuff, but it's free, so you can't complain. Flip Man's Daily Live, wholesaling real estate without using your cash or credit. aka Fliptainment. So Flipreneur.com is where you can access the playlist. Someone organizes the videos that are all on YouTube. Someone took their valuable time out and did that. Really appreciate it. Comps101.com is where you can submit your properties to be comped. If you're having trouble figuring out what the ARV of a property is, submit the address there. We'll do it in 24 hours unless it's on the weekend. Today's title is do you have to pay taxes, I think, on the wholesale profits, fees, transactions that you make. We'll get to that in a second. All right. Everything you need is at this phone number here, 205-964-5243. The contract, thank you very much. The contract, if you need to use the same contract I've been using since 2003, you can access that by simply texting the word contract to the number. In that response that you'll get will be a video showing you how to access the contract for free, how to fill it out for sellers and buyers, and how to get it signed quickly. That's all it took my little energy.
Right.
Yeah, no, TikTok is tripping.
The show must go on.
Yeah, everybody, you can't just throw me on stage and just told me I have a traumatic event. Anyway.
That's what I did to Tina.
That's what I need to do to Tina. That's what he did.
He did. Now. And what she had to do?
Well, they get right up out the labor table and make it happen. Tell her what was coming out of her. Do a 50-50 if you want to partner with me on deals because you have it under contract. You're dealing directly with the owner. It's off market and it's a great deal. My definition of off market is if I Google the address, it's not for sale anywhere on the internet. My definition of a great deal normally, if you go to dealulator.com and use the calculator, those numbers need to work. You should never submit a deal if you hadn't used that calculator first. I don't emphasize that enough. You should never submit a deal to us because you're on the same site and below it has the calculator if those numbers don't work in the calculator, assuming you know what the ARV and the repairs are. All right. Trying to build a cash buyers list because you're driving for dollars, need to know who owns that vacant house. I'm on the wrong one. Cash buyers list. You need a cash buyers list because you're either want to build one before you get started, or if you have a property on a deal, on the contract, you need a cash buyer for it. Text the word cash to the number 205-964-5243. Just skip these two. Close, you have a seller on the contract, you have a buyer in the contract, but you need to provide instructions to the title company or the closing attorney. You'll text the word close to the number CLOSE to the number. And that closing detail sheet will explain who's the seller, who's the buyer, the address, obviously the price, who's paying what, who's receiving what, namely your assignment fee, your bread, and who's paying the closing costs. You want to learn how to text message the proper way, submit the word text, and we'll send you those instructions. There's also been a recent update. I released a video, I guess Thursday or Friday, that explains how that works. The next one is now if you want to, you're out driving for dollars trying to figure out who owns that vacant house, text the word vacant to the number. Want to join my Facebook group, Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flip Man, text the word group. Trying to target probates, text the word probate without an S. All right, the stemming, the $1,000 giveaway is still in effect. We gave away two, gave away one last Thursday to my man Travail, I think his name is, out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The first one we gave to Adrian out of Augusta, Georgia. So both of them received $1,000 to hopefully jumpstart their wholesaling business, but hey, they just made a need the bread. All right, the last thing is the CRM. If you're trying to manage your leads, that's what you need. That's what I highly recommend. Whether it's motivated sellers from Bandit signs, direct mail, cold calling, text messaging, driving for dollars, all of those need to be separated because you know what's working, what's not working. Also, you can communicate with sellers through text message, email, ringless voicemail, and obviously call them also to obviously have a conversation, but the calls are recorded. And so with those calls being recorded, now you can refer back to them for your own personal use, or if you have a partner or you're paying a VA or someone, you can always go back and listen to their conversation, see what if they're doing it right or if they're doing it at all. So text CRM to the number 205-964-5243. So on to it. Do you have to pay taxes? Well, this is I would like to think, well, I ain't no think, I know it is. This is a legitimate business. It's legitimate income, which means Uncle Sam wants his money, right? Now, I'm not a CPA, not a tax expert or anything. I'm really just simply answering the question, yes, you're going to have to pay taxes. And people, that's like the first question they always ask, like, if you're paying taxes, that means money has been made, right? Means money has been made that you wouldn't make it anyway, right? What am I missing? Why is that like one of the first questions? Yeah, you got to pay taxes on it. You know, yeah, why for you to go on a job and you understand you're going to pay taxes on that, but when you're doing something for yourself, it's the same thing. But in the famous words of Marlo Stanfield, you know what that is? The Wire. Yeah, that's one of them good problems. That's what they call one of them good problems, because you'd rather pay taxes on, I don't know, 100K or zero. There you go. That's not a trick question. So seek out a CPA. There's one in your market, I'm sure, multiples. And if you're not sure about who to reach out to, then use the Facebook group again, networking. And just ask, hey, I'm in, I don't know, Milwaukee. Anyone can recommend a good CPA for real estate investors, wholesalers, or whatever. Networking.
All right. Everybody's just saying hello. Tila M from YouTube said
she's like hey, that's what's up.
She said the intro song be stuck in her head. Hey everybody.
It's what?
It's stuck in her head. It gets stuck in her head.
Oh, stuck in her head. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the key. Just like Goldberg 800. They call it jingle.
Eric Carney said, "Yay, philanthropists and ladies of flipness." That's our friend too.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's just saying hello. He also said, "Thanks for the text tube video. That was good info."
Yes, sir.
Leroy Strokesman from YouTube said, "What are your thoughts on using Facebook ads?"
Can be very, very effective, but they're very, very expensive. So it's a trade-off. That's like, I wouldn't recommend starting out that way. Maybe after you've done a deal or two. Even if you have the money to afford it, I wouldn't. Well, I can't say that because you've got a good war chest. Maybe you need some money. Let me just say that it's expensive.
He also
But it can
asked,
be very effective.
how can I find a list for fire damaged properties?
Someone asked that question before, and like I said, I was in the car dealership a few weeks back, and the guy recognized me or whatever. He was a fireman, and I asked him about it. Now here in Birmingham, he said that you would go down to the main administrative office, but he wasn't sure. They may have a list or whatever. So, and then in some cities, it may just be readily available online.
Yeah.
So it's just going to depend on your market, municipality.
Okay, so Andrew Turner Jr. from Facebook said his biggest question is, how do I go about paying the taxes? Do I have to set the taxes aside in another account till I file the following year, or do I have to pay during the year as I make the money?
Both work. Yeah. Both work. You can say that both of those work. I can, not a CPA, whatever, but I can answer that question. Both work.
All right, this is on Instagram. They said, "Bless you, Flipman, and what you're doing." Flipman salute.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. The first question is on Instagram. Hey, Flip, what does it mean if a cash buyer is saying they are trying to purchase a SFR 1 to 4 unit in the next 2 weeks in my area?
All right, that person asked a question, and did I answer? I guess I did. I thought I responded to him on a DM or something. Okay, Google is your friend, number one. I think I told him to ask it on YouTube. That's what I told him to do. I told him because I'll answer for them, but it also helps others. That's why. So don't think I'm trying to be cute or funny if I send you that message. It's because it answers it for you, but people have the same question. So if I post it on YouTube in the comments section, then it answers for others because people read those comments and whatever. So, but. He said, if a cash buyer asks you, tells you that he buys, say that again, Ken.
Go back up.
I'm sorry.
All right.
He said,
all right. So he said, what does it mean when a cash buyer says that they're trying to purchase an SFR 1 to 4 unit?
Okay, let's start with the first part. When a cash buyer said he's trying to purchase an SFR. So what I would have done. Now, you asked me, of course, I'm going to answer, but I'm just tell you what I was doing. I may not have answered it. I don't see everything or whatever. So, and I can't literally answer everything either. Let me just say that. But I would have Googled, what does SFR mean? Now, you might have come up with this, but normally it's going to probably, the first thing it's going to give you what it really means as far as real estate, which means single family residence, a house. That's basically what it's saying. So he said, what did he say?
And then he said,
no, I'm saying, what was that first part he said?
What do you say to a seller that wants to purchase an SFR?
Okay, so the cash buyer said he wants to purchase single family residence or basically houses, and what was the second part?
1 to 4 units.
Or 1 to 4 unit, meaning one house or up to a fourplex, duplex, triplex, fourplex. That's what he's saying. He'll purchase 1 unit, which is a house, or the duplex, or he'll purchase a triplex, or he'll purchase a fourplex, which normally a duplex is 1 building with 2 units in it. A triplex is 1 building with 3 units in it. A fourplex is 1 building with 4 units in it, living dwellings. And he wants to purchase those in 1 to 2 weeks, meaning he'll purchase quickly.
So just tell him to call you when you got them.
Yeah, just tell, basically, yeah. So that's it. He's just saying, hey, if you got some, holler, yeah. That too, Jessica.
All right, this is also on Instagram. Can I still wholesale a house that's owned by an LLC? If so, how?
Somebody asked that question too. I guess I didn't ask it. Hey, you know what you need to do. You're in the right place. All right, so yeah, you can wholesale a house. That's the question. That's in an LLC.
Yes, can you still wholesale a
Yeah, of
house
course.
that's owned by a LLC?
Yeah,
If so, how?
behind that LLC is a human being or human beings. So yeah, they can still be motivated. Someone that has a property in the LLC still can go through a divorce. They still can die, or they still, that may not be their main income, some income or job loss or whatever. Too many repairs, tired landlords can still be all the same reason someone else will be motivated to sell. But because they have it in the LLC, sometimes they're harder to reach, and sometimes the numbers normally play out. They're less likely to be motivated to sell than someone that just has the property in their name. But again, to answer the question, most definitely yes.
They said you can't answer. They just told live was better.
Was it? Was it?
Maybe they wanted a more in-depth question.
Yeah, was it?
In-depth
Yeah.
answer.
Well, you should have came. You should have came on the live stream, and you could ask another question.
Right. Don't forget, you can text the word Gator, GATOR, to 205-964-5243, and you can get your question answered on live. But you have to have your camera and your mic on. Okay. I think the camera might be deterring a lot of people. They don't want to be seen on camera.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not scared, you can come on. Okay, Jennifer Lee from YouTube said, hey everyone, happy Monday. Got a question for you, Flip. Do you have any videos pertaining to how to wholesale vacant land and running comps more in-depth details? Couldn't find any on it. Thanks.
Someone called about a plot of land this morning. Came in this morning. Got to take a closer look at it. But the reason you probably don't see a lot of it out here is land is, okay, real estate in general is speculation, meaning like you're guessing what this is going to be the outcome. And you can there are factors that you can use to determine that, hey, I'm going to probably be right. With houses, it's a lot easier because I can look at if there's enough comps, comparable sales, meaning what other houses comparing to my house have sold, I can tell you if I do this to this house, it'll sell for this. Land, you can't, it's just so hard to do that with. Because number one, there may not be any transactions of recent to give you something to go by. So it's like just total speculation on what it's even worth in a lot of cases. Now, if you're in a developing area where they're just using residential, they're building brand new houses, then you know that lot sold for this, I can sell mine for this. A lot of cases, that's not the situation. So in order to know if you have a great deal, you have to first know what will it be worth in its best use. And so with land, that's at its highest speculation in a lot of cases. So that's why it's difficult to come up with a value, because once you come up with a potential value, now you can backdoor it and say, hey, if I get it at this price, I should be able to wholesale it at this price. So with land, all real estate has a market value based on what the county says it's worth for tax reasons. They need to give a value so they can send you that tax bill, right? So, and that may not be what it's really worth. With houses, is normally what they send you in a tax bill in a lot of cases is actually worth more in excellent condition. Now, a lot of times they send in tax bills on houses that are fire damaged, but it ain't like they didn't physically went out there and looked at it. If the owner doesn't challenge it, if the tax bill, if the market value for the house was $200,000, but it's been in a fire, they still sending them the bill for tax bill based on $200,000 unless they challenge it, and they come out then they'll physically appraise. Oh no, it's not worth this or whatever. Even though the rest of the neighborhood we say is just for the most part, it's not this. So I was just trying to make it could be just all over the place as far as the value. But with land, so they'll just say a plot of land, like the lady called today, say the land she wants to sell it for $24,000. I haven't looked it up yet, But if the lot is worth 60, according to the county, because I don't think it's in a developing area, then that's something I could possibly go look at or whatever, and you put the deal together. A lot of people just like to, I know I'm all over the place, but it's all over the place. So a lot of people just like to own real estate. Probably one of the best options. I hadn't put this into play as much as I probably should have, is with land, it may be in your best interest if they will owner finance it to you, and then you can wholesale out those terms, but you still got to come up with a value. So I'm going to say if you can get land at 50% or less based on the market value that the county says it's worth, ideally you may want to get in a 20 to 30 cents on the dollar. You probably have a chance of wholesaling it, and that still may be tough. So that's why you don't see a lot out there, because you're not going to have a lot of buyers for it. That's why. It's just so speculative. Even with commercial land, it'll sit there for years with a for sale sign on it for years. And one day somebody just buy it. Somebody sit there, the sign has been out there so long. I can assure you, most of you all have seen this. The sign has been out there so long, the number is faded off. That's land that is, it could be in an area where like, man, something should go there. Man, something should go there. And you remember when you was in the second grade, you remember that sign going to folks taking you to school on the school bus or walking home. And now you're in the 12th grade, you see that still same sign in the area that you pass every day. That's land. Period.
It's complicated. Okay. Kalinda Gamble said, can the courthouse have a list of Bandit properties? A list of abandoned properties.
Well, what they'll have is more so a list of properties that they have on their demo list, or it may be called something else. What they call that? What they call it? I forget what they call it. Somebody said, yeah, but it's like a demolition list. It's on schedule to be demoed. Now the owner can stop it. They normally have just minimum requirements. Maybe they need to board it up, keep the grass cut, something like that, and then or pull a permit that they are going to do some work on. Each municipality will be different on that, but they'll have those type of lists. I forget, what do they call those? Go ahead, I'll think about it. Somebody else will say it on the thing.
All right, so Al Wimberly said, hello, everyone. How would you do the comp on a duplex or a triplex?
Well, ideally, you would like to have other properties to compare it to. Ideally, but sometimes that's not the case. The duplex or the triplex may be not the norm in that area. So what I will do is if those are not the norm, I'm going to look at a house that is the norm and use that as my guide as far as how I'm going to come up with an ARV. Now, I'll probably bump it some or give it some more room because it is an income producing property, but I'm gonna use a house to comp it. But you still need to take in consideration the rents in the area for a 2-1, whatever the unit mix is, a 2-1, 3-1, 1-1, whatever. That needs to be taken in consideration on how it can possibly cash flow based on the income that it could collect, and maybe already collecting income at the market rate. You can evaluate it that way also, but normally what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna treat it as a house first, and then I'll take a look at the income second if that's not the norm in that area. So, and then just go from there.
All right, this is on Instagram. How many offers do you make each month, week, or day?
Well, ideally what you wanna do, now we spend a lot of money generating leads, so it's gonna be a little different, but someone starting out, ideally if you wanna do X number of deals per month, you need to be talking to X number of sellers. You need to be you and a seller need to be in discussions on price that day. So if you're trying to do 3 deals a month, you'd probably be talking to 3 sellers that want to actually sell per day.
I think you already answered this question. You might have answered this too. How would you comp out a commercial building?
It's not going to be like a house. First, you got to say, what type of commercial building is it? Is it retail space, office space, medical space, self-storage, multifamily, hotel, motel, industrial, warehousing? They all different, you know. And most commercial is based on either the income that it is producing or the income that it can produce, right? And then now it gets into, is it currently leased? Is it just totally vacant? What are other retail spaces leasing for in the area? And then you got to have an idea of expenses, taxes, insurance, size of the property, the square footage that other property, that's what I meant to say, square footage that other properties are leasing for. All that factors in. It's not just like a house. It's just not. No, totally different ball game.
All right. Top 5 thrills from YouTube said, what does reassessed price mean?
Somebody asked that again, either on the Flipper North Thursday. I know what reassess means, take a second look.
Yeah, so I'm sure they changed the price.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what that means. Reassess means I'm take a second look. So I'm not sure what that means.
All right, Michelle McDonald from YouTube said, I just received my Bandit signs from Dirt Cheap Signs. I would like to know, what can I use to put them on poles? I think you mentioned twine I can buy from Home Depot.
Ain't you got some of that? Some cable ties over there? Yeah. Cable ties, we're gonna zip ties, they call them. You know, like you see on the movie sometimes, people bond the person up, they about to kidnap up.
Out of all the examples you could use, that's what you say.
And then if they trade, is it called trade craft, like they work for the CIA or something, they know how to.
You got to get it as tight as you can.
Yeah, and then I think that's TV though. But I don't know if you can see this on screen, but this is a zip tie or a cable tie. Yeah, so well, you're about to get a sign, so you
hold it up a little.
Like,
yeah, so they can see.
You know.
Show it to them.
Yeah, no.
And where'd you get those from, Flipman?
So they go through like this. I hope they can see like the side or whatever. You see how they go through. You got one at the top, one at the bottom.
Hold on, let me take all this stuff off
here. Yeah. So they can. Okay. Yeah, so now you can see how it is. Mm-hmm. So you can buy them at Lowe's, but seems like Home Depot has the size. These are 14 inches, I think, or what you can get like a pack of 500 of these for like $40 basically. Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Put that back. Okay, Leroy Strokesman said, in your early days of wholesaling, did you ever use flyers or business cards for marketing? I'm trying to be a little creative.
I've done it all, man. I've done flyers. You'll soon find out you can do better use of your time. Well, let me say this first. I'm going to always side on doing something versus nothing. But there could be better use of your time. But if that's your only option, then so be it. Man, I blanked out over here. But flyers, yes, business cards. You can only reach so many people hand to hand like that, right? With flyers, you can only reach so many people. Now you can put out, I guess, thousands of flyers. Then it's just more or less a crapshoot because every card place you put flyers at, what percentage of those are not going to be homeowners, right? Again, I'm going to always side on doing something versus not doing anything or whatever. But it's better use of your time, in my opinion. You know, these are only a few $100. Now you're taking advantage of, yeah, people are passing by that don't own real estate, but you're talking about thousands of people just seeing one sign, not even taking into consideration you got a couple of hundred out there. So you catching a lot of attention. Yeah, so again, but I'm always going to decide on doing something versus not doing anything.
All right, this is on Instagram. Can I get a rehab loan on a house I have under contract?
Well, all that's going to be, if you're talking about traditional lending, going to a lender, a bank, the hoops that they're going to make you jump through, you got to be very, very strong credit-wise. You're going to have to be very, very strong income-wise. So that route eliminates a lot of people starting out. Now, we do have what we call hard money out here, and it's a form of private lending. A lot of that's more asset-based, based on the property, but even with those, sometimes they still want you to have some minimum credit scores. But the biggest hurdle for most people when they're talking about the rehab of property is that they're normally going to want 10, 20, and sometimes 30% down, especially if you're a newbie, they may want 30% down. So if it's a $100,000 project, guess what the 30% would come out to be? Ladies, 100,000, 30%. It's 30,000.
Oh yeah.
It's 30,000. They're going to want 30,000 down. Even if it's 20%, they're going to want 20% down. Even if it's 10%, they're going to want 10% down. So, and why do you want? Yeah, you want to jump to those hoops, but why would you want to start that way? That's a harder way of starting. I know we see the stuff on HGTV, and it seems beautiful, but this is not a trick question. Would you rather spend $100 and make 10,000, or spend 70,000 to make 30? All right. So you might say you want the 30. Okay, let's do it this way then. So to make 100,000, so you make 10,000, it's just assume these numbers just going to be consistent. To make 100,000, all I would need is $1,000, right? That's 10 deals on a wholesale deal. I'm separating wholesaling from flipping. All right. Now, if I were going to have 10 projects going on at the same time on a rehab situation, I would have to have 700,000 to make 300,000. Who has that? Who? Well, whatever. But it's called return on investment. Spend 100, make 10,000, spend 70,000 to make 30,000. Don't get caught up in what's the flash is. Just look at the numbers and like, man, I literally have nothing at risk and I can make this kind of money. That's nothing to think about. For me.
All right.
And then I can have 10 of those going on at one time, basically for $1,000. Again, you have to have 10 of those, you're going to have 700,000 going on. 700,000 invested. 10 of those at once versus it ain't nothing to think about, man. It's laughable, really.
All right. This is also on Instagram. Where can I get advertising sign to put on my car? Advertising Bellway Estates, LLC.
That's what's up. All right. So if you're talking about a wrap, then any sign company, I ain't gonna say most sign companies in your market will offer to just price to see who's the best or whatever. If you're trying to do a wrap of your vehicle. Now, if you're just talking about like some magnets, that's one thing. The magnet thing, most people get magnets, put it on the side of their cars. I side on always doing something versus nothing, but having magnets on the side, you limit who can see your vehicle once it's moving. But if you have something on the rear of your vehicle, you force them to see it, whether they want to see it or not. Even at 70 miles an hour, they still see your message or whatever. So.
All right. Somebody want to see the whiteboard, but we'll come back to that. What else?
Oh, you can. I forgot. I set it up. You can text the word whiteboard. That's one word. If you text the word whiteboard to this number, we'll send you a picture of the board. What technology is beautiful.
All right. What else are you investing in, or would you invest in restaurants, etc.?
Nah, you couldn't pay me to invest in a restaurant.
I thought about it.
What chicken place?
No, you didn't hold on.
Oh, so somebody got something there. Somebody got something there now. Yeah, they got. I passed by it yesterday. Somebody got something there now. We're gonna go over there in a little while. Somebody got something there. Sorry, Ken. It's Monday. It's Monday though. It's Monday. It's fish day though. Yeah. Yeah. Well, really nothing outside of real estate, but I'm open. I am open. Don't send me no network marketing. Say, no, it ain't really that. Yes, it is. Don't send me that.
Diversify your portfolio.
Don't say I'm always open. I ain't as gung-ho as I used to be or whatever. You know, always, I don't really look for stuff. I'm always, you want to get my attention, tell me about to make some money or whatever. So, but don't send me any network marketing stuff, please. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. Now, it works. Some people make a lot of money with it. Oh, well, it's just not going to work for Tyrone, okay? And anytime, I'm going to get on a little soapbox here. See, it doesn't matter what the product is with network marketing. It could be selling these pointers. It's the greatest pointer ever. It goes back and forth. It's light. You can put it in your pocket. But the real money is if you get 4 other people to do the same thing. It ain't the pointer. It's to get the other people in the organization.
I hate phone calls like that.
So whenever it's that, they have to have a product or service to offer. Credit repair, phone service, website, it doesn't matter. Wholesaling, whatever it is. They have to have waist trainer, makeup, Avon, of course, Avon, you know what I'm saying? I ain't hating on it, I'm just telling you, it ain't the product or service, is how many people you can get up under you to pay that $79.99 or $199 or whatever. That's where the money's made. So yeah, if you get X number of people under you and paying that amount, then the residuals start flowing up your way, whatever they call it, and you get the ground floor opportunity. How many people heard that ground floor opportunity? Get the hell out of here. But anyway, don't send me that. But to answer your question, trying to do a little crypto. I got some money in there getting killed right now, but I'm patient. I'm as they say, it's on sale right now, so it drops lower, gets below 30,000. I'm talking about Bitcoin particularly. I got Ethereum also. What else I got? Just bought a little Dogecoin that just playing or whatever. And what we got? Bitcoin Cash. So that's it. But I am open. This ain't what this is. This is no, it ain't. Yeah.
They're not the same.
Yeah, right. Again, I ain't saying people laughing at me because people have made millions with it. I'm talking about me. Now, that was my first exposure to entrepreneurship, right? Was network marketing with Amway, one of my homeboys. He dude I grew up with, and I look up to. He invited me to a meeting at these people's house, and this how. And I remember that they would sell with Amway. You're selling products, right? All kind of products. I guess they still exist. And so he wasn't looking at it as what I saw the dude was saying is that the way you make the money is the people you get up under you, not the products that they sell. Mm-hmm. The people in the organization are gonna buy the products. They're not trying to sell the products. There ain't no one that's not in the chain. He was thinking about going to selling the products to school districts and all that stuff. The dude kept trying to reel him back in. That ain't how the money is made. Now I got it. And he the one invited me to the thing. I got it or whatever. But anyway, so.
All right. Andrew Turner Jr. from Facebook said, one more question is that I noticed a lot of houses in the hood aren't valued high, more like 23K, and the repairs on them are like 35K. Am I right to assume this isn't a deal? I am targeting the houses that are at least in the 100K to 300K range.
Well, no, it didn't have to actually be that, because those still could be rental opportunities. But if you're in an ARV area where the house is only 23,000, that's low. Whew, that's low. 60 and 70 is low, which is common in some of the area market neighborhoods here, but that still leaves room to have 30,000 in repairs, and you still may have 30,000 to work with. But that means you're going to have to get the house for 5,000 or less, or whatever. You all seen the TikToks and reels, Instagram reels that I've done on a couple of houses that, 3,000, 4,000, but those are in those type of neighborhoods, the $60,000, $70,000 neighborhoods or whatever. So, but when it's in like a $20-something thousand neighborhood, the repairs can easily exceed the value of the house quickly. So you don't have to be in $300,000 neighborhoods to make money by no means. You can make money in that area. Again, it's still going to be how the deal is structured. Some people would take on that total investment, but you're going to have to get it so cheap, definitely under $5,000, probably like $1 or $2,000, and the repairs, and they just going to make their money over time. You still may be able to make $3,000, maybe $5,000 off of it, because they'll put the repairs and they're just going to get it back as a rental income. They may be all in at $40,000, paying you, fixing and buying and everything, but they may be able to rent it out for $700, $800 a month. So now it's just a cash on cash deal or whatever. So.
All right, Cornelius Hambrick from Facebook said, how can I find the owner of a family trust?
They're going to have a mailing address attached to the property, because the tax bill has to go somewhere. Just got to send them a letter. Again, maybe ask the neighbors. They may know some of the family numbers, neighbors around the house that you're targeting, and you go from there.
All right, this one says, is it wise for a newbie wholesaler to wholesale $1 million homes if the ARV will be 1.2 million? Will it be worth it to wholesale to cash buyers? I've seen some of the houses in pre-foreclosure.
If the house is worth $1 million, I'm sorry, he says it's worth $1.2 million, but what price are you getting it at? That's what's going to matter. Right. It don't matter. You can wholesale $100 million house if you can get it for 60 in 10 days. If you can get it for 60, it doesn't matter. The money is there. I don't care what the price of the real estate is. If you can get it that deeply discounted, it doesn't matter. So on that 1.2, that's a 1.2 neighborhood. If you can get the house for 700, even if it needed 100, 150 in repairs, you could probably wholesale it in 10 days. That's, what is that? Oh, almost $450,000, $450,000 to potential profit or whatever. So my math is right, but anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. But the numbers got to work. Doesn't matter about the ARV, the end game. What can you get it for because of the end game?
All right. Cola D said, how do you make an offer before seeing the property and calculating the repairs, as in responding to a text or virtually? Well,
you'll ask them, in their opinion, what's the condition of the property? Have any recent repairs, or are there any immediate repairs on the property? Is it currently vacant or occupied? Is it rented? You assume it's livable. Somebody's living there. Oh, so now, if they're not living there, you're still gonna ask them, is it livable? And that's gonna be opinion now. Some people live someplace, some won't. We like to think most people are reasonable or whatever. So now, if it's livable, $25 times the square footage. If it's livable, if it's not livable, for it. That's a generalization, right? But that's what you're only looking for, is a generalization to plug in the numbers. So. Right. And then you can verify once you get out there, or somebody goes out there and take a look at it. But you need a number. Okay, yeah. You need a number. You need a number that you can work with so you can see if it's even an opportunity. That's where my deal calculator comes in at. Okay, so remember, what my stick? This is the network marketing. What is this? Network marketing pointer tool that will be you get it on the ground floor level. Text the word. Hey, everything you need, you text the words up there. The contract, you want a partner, you need a cash buyer, CRM, you want to get in a $1,000 contest, just text the word STEMI. Oh, remember, if you're trying to get multiple entries on the $1,000 that we'll give away on Thursday, then screenshot that you signed up for Deal You Later, aka PropStream, for the 5-day free trial. You get 4 additional entries, gets you 5 chances to win that $1,000. Just screenshot it and text that image to the 205-964-5243. Remember, if you want this whiteboard, just text the word whiteboard. We'll send you an image of the whiteboard or whatever. So everything else is up here. Remember, if you got questions, post them in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos. I answer those on a daily basis. These will go in replay mode on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube. Am I missing anything? Oh, make sure you like it, share it, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Huh? Yeah, that's fine.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that.